So welcome, folks, to a special episode of Occultists Anonymous. We are sponsored by Roll20, The Onyx Path, and viewers like you. Thank you very much to everybody who supports us. Thank you for dealing with the fact that, at least for Twitch, we weren't here last week. For YouTube, of course we were here. It's uploaded. You can watch us anytime you want. Though I hope nobody's actually doing a rewatch yet. Like, that kind of terrifies me that somebody would go back and rewatch our stuff. Just watch it once. It's cool. But yes, and a special thank you to our patrons who support us monetarily, give us a little monetary support so we can do cool stuff. I actually just bought Craig's new mic, and it is going in the mail tomorrow because I forgot to get his address, and I was like, yeah, it's fine, I'll get it from him on Friday. Oh wait, no, he's doing birthday stuff. So if you're wondering where Craig is, he is celebrating the birthday of his middleest child, if I remember correctly. So yay for him.
She is 16.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, that is where Craig is. So we will have no weird today. We will still probably be plenty weird.
Yeah, pretty weird.
Yeah. And then a special thank you to our patrons who support us monetarily. Like I said, Ryan, Thomas, Schmitty, James, Perry, Josh, Brandon, Michael, Danny, Giovanni. Whoops, hang on, no. Giovanni, yes, but we're not there yet. Cinna, Puppeteer, Elaine, Noba, Giovanni, see, Cat Feathers, Moku, Melissa, Alexander, and Emil. You will notice we have a bunch of new patrons. Compared to 2 weeks ago. So thank you guys for joining us and coming on this. I almost said magic ride, but well, sure. Yeah, it's a magic ride. It's not quite magic carpet ride level, but nonetheless, thank you for joining us.
No Steppenwolf for you, huh?
Nope. Because I always think of the DC character. Yeah. Anyways, righto. Man, it's actually been a bit. I can't remember where we left off. Oh, right. Everybody talked down a bunch of hunters. They were very, very aggressive to the Phantasm Society. And they sucked. And they were very, very difficult to play. And that was me even being nice. I ended up pulling my punches. I couldn't bring myself to be completely asshole-ish. I'm going to fix that in the future. We'll have more asshole villains eventually.
Drew's going to practice being racist. You heard it here first.
But yes, but yeah.
Okay, we went to our concilium meeting and got like responsibilities.
Yeah,
responsibilities.
Yeah, given a little bit of a heads up on what the next moves are going to be, and since you guys are set up in Lower Manhattan and very, very close to a bunch of seers, and you've claimed a bunch of seer territory and said, hey, this is ours, they kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up, and especially due to Atratus's work mostly, have a lot of inroads to the different supernatural communities. The hierarch was like, well, that's not quite my thing, but since you're doing it, thanks. And here's something you might want to know. Cool. Oh, right. And then Songbird spent a bunch of XP.
Sure did.
So we pick up at, well, unless there's something you guys want to do in the immediate intervening time frame, because you guys had finished up with, because we had the concilium meeting, met up with the hunters, where you realized, we can't point these at the seers because boss says no, indirectly. And then got back to the Puck building, had a little chit chat about stuff. And then, I think we're picking up, just to speed things along just a touch, with Songbird at the Adamantine Arrow Armory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's been some conversation, a little chit chat here and there, amongst the, between Songbird and Colossus, his mentor. And they both agree that the time is right, that Songbird has gathered enough arcane knowledge, and, Colossus kind of leaning against, Unlit Forge admits, Well, this isn't exactly the traditional way. Like, technically, you owe me about a year of service, several months at least. But we have shit to do. And I am currently the only Forge Master in the Concilium. And while there are other in the Caucasus, a lone Forge Master, it's wrong. Like we're like the Sith. Need to have a master and apprentice. Want to pass down stuff, and
is this a Sears thing?
Well, yeah, the Seers and the vampires, or unless I'm mistaking your question.
The Sith thing you were talking about.
You haven't seen Star Wars?
That's the one with
Oh Christ! I don't know if I can go through this. Right. Okay. I'm just going to pretend you didn't say that. Really? Never mind. I love that we continue to establish that Songbird is the anti-nerd, quantified anti-nerd. Yes, Colossus watched Star Wars. Like
Everyone's watched Star Wars. Okay.
Like he was born when it came. Like he was young when it came out. Like, you know. Anyways, but Colossus basically says so. I have scheduled your initiation if you think you are ready for it.
Bring it on.
Okay. So tomorrow, come wearing a bunch of clothes you don't ever want to see again, because they will probably not survive the initiation. And then he pulls out a single iron nail, like some of the stuff that he had you making way back when. And it's not the like traditional nails like we use, but like the old school, very elongated, kind
hefty.
Hefty, thick iron nail. And he hands it to you and says, and that needs to be Ceterate when you show up. So if that's going to be a problem yourself, but yeah, you'll have to figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, and you'll bring any tasks that you happen to have lying around. I've gathered some stuff up. Normally, this is a thing that is planned out well in advance, and it would be my job to gather up a bunch of stuff for like the past month or so. But we're speeding up the timetable. So bonus to you. Downside is you're going to have to provide some mana because I've scoured all my resources and
literally.
And yes. And Pip has cut me off. She thinks this is superfluous and unnecessary. And I told her,
damn it, Pip.
No. Right. But that's fine. We will make do with whatever. And it's not a long initiation. It is going to be deeply personal. There are a couple Forge Masters from the Caucasus who will be here to witness it with us. Cool. It's kind of a big thing for us. There will be some
light snacks or
no. In all fairness, Songbird, I don't think you are going to have a problem surviving it, but it is not a pleasant process. Are you familiar with what a legacy does to one's...
Shapes your soul, right?
Right. But we're smiths, Songbird.
Yeah, I've got an idea of what might...
Fire, hammer, anvil.
Cool. I had a dream about this once.
Oh. Well, we'll see how it compares to the dream.
Less a dream, more, Damon sort of conversation.
I count it as a dream. So with that, he kind of fills you in on like the address and stuff like that. It's not going to be at the armory. There is basically just a rundown, like abandoned heavy industrial facility. I'll lean on you to probably not in Manhattan because I don't imagine there's a lot of industrial left in Manhattan. But
No.
But yeah, just definitely an old abandoned factory kind of location.
Way out in fucking Brooklyn or Queens or something.
Right. And so that is where you'll meet tomorrow.
All right.
Do you have any questions for him or anything?
Nope. I'm ready to fly by the seat of my incredibly tight jeans.
Cool. Cool. So while you bebop back to the Rookery or the Puck Building or where have you, Atratus, where are you at these days?
Well, I said I was going to take a little bit to go back to the Phantasm Society and help them sort of reestablish themselves while they're trying to get their footing back after having been all thrown out of sorts by the hunters.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you probably have a pretty decent bonding experience. There's not a whole lot metaphysically to do. Rebecca is more than happy to borrow your arms to help move some stuff around. Some of the other Sin Eaters are there, and you actually meet up with a lot of the rest of the crew with the capital K and an extra E. And you get the whole Phantasm Society probably over, the day, just as people kind of ebb and flow in and out based on what their schedules allow and stuff like that. And you're probably recognize most of them from the different cemetery parties that you and Gabe have kind of stopped by and stuff like that. But cemetery, graveyard, whichever. But for the most part, it's just kind of a chill affair. And just kind of mostly just helping Rebecca get fixed back up at a new place. Some of the crew actually kind of come in and put a little pressure on her old landlord to let her leave, and they give some BS about being harassed and stalked, and then it's like, well, how much BS is that actually? And no, it's actually kind of pretty accurate. She was shot in that house, and basically, yeah, you can kind of see the effect of the whole crew kind of working in tandem, especially when you're talking like, for you guys, you have a cabal of 3, 4 with Titus, and maybe 5, depending on what happens to Jimmy.
I forgot about him.
You forgot about Titus, I imagine, not Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I mean, he got assigned to us like last week. So.
Last episode. Yeah.
Literally before you guys went to the meeting with the hunters. You get to kind of see that whole like large group in action, everybody lifting, just that little bit. And that goes a long way to, lightening the load for everyone. You have a metaphorical image of an Amish barn raising. After that, kind of make your way back to the Rookery, or do you think like towards the late afternoon, evening, heading back home, or more of over to the workshop?
I'd probably go over to the workshop and just
Okay.
start like tinkering with things.
Cool. While you're there, you get the whole Steam words on glass kind of little message from Gabe saying, I have a terrible idea.
I'm listening.
And you go ahead and cast Speak with Dead.
Yeah.
So, okay. He's kind of sitting there like on top of a forge. He has actual clothes on. Thank you, Songbird. And he says, so I've been hanging out with the Phantasm Society a lot, hanging out at the Avernian Gates, and I'm learning actually quite a lot about the way the crew does things and the way they help people. They help ghosts, but I guess they help people too. Either way, I'm starting to learn some stuff. And sometimes I spend a little time kind of cruising around Lower Manhattan, looking around at stuff and people, and as much as essence allows, it gets me out of the house, kind of thing. And there's a odd ghost that I've noticed like a lot in Lower Manhattan, kind of in I'm going to say our territory. I mean, nobody asked me to join. You guys signed all your stuff and agreed and stuff. Nobody asked me to be part of it, but I'm making myself part of it because you're involved. And well, this ghost doesn't seem to be anchored to anything. She's wandering around Manhattan like a lot. Like I can move around a lot because fortunately you think about me fairly often, and that helps me. But she's got like no anchor, or she's carrying. She's very odd, but she's lucid. She's like me, and I don't know if there's something wrong with her. Like, I don't know if it's like the lady at the even dart, the crazy bitch that Songbird killed. Because like she's like asking questions, and I've noticed her noticing me, and that doesn't make me feel all that great because she might be a crazy ghost lady.
Yeah, has she followed you?
Not that I've seen, but I'm kind of tied at the hip to you. So, I try and keep an eye out for her, but I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that other ghosts can do, and some of them are just unnoticeable. Or some of the guys, some of the geists that the Sin Eaters are bound to, like, don't walk. Like me, I'm stuck, right? Gravity applies. Super dumb. I'm a ghost. I should be able to fly. Nope, I gotta walk. Super dumb. Regardless, some of the geists like fly because they have wings, because they are super dumb. Underworld bullshit allows them to fly. Absolutely bullshit. But I'm not into the drinking of the river Styx. Not my thing. My point is, I don't know what she is, because every other ghost I've ever met is sitting in a graveyard somewhere or sitting on top of whatever the thing they're haunting is. And this...
Yeah, they're supposed to have anchors.
Right. And unless this chick has like a shit ton of anchors or something, it's very weird. I'm and
yeah.
I mean, I could bring it to the other guys in the cabal, but not like, they could, well, I guess technically Weird can chat with me, but I don't think she'd be up for, dealing with the ghost.
She doesn't have, she can see you.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to like sign language.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't Speak with Dead one dot?
That is.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But regardless, yeah, that's not Weird's thing. And I'll be honest, I thought we could do a little buddy cop. Like, we're not,
sure.
we're not
alive cop, dead cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says to nobody in particular.
That's definitely something I'd be interested in checking out. I want to know what's up with her.
Don't mind us. We're just slowly dying. Okay.
Yeah. Where, do you have any idea where to start looking for? Or are we just going to wander until we see her?
That's actually a really good question. I'm sure he knows where he's seen her a bunch. I'm going to see if there's a specific place for you guys to start your search. Well, yeah, I guess if nothing else, it's going to be in and around the area of the Puck building.
Okay.
Yeah, no particular place there, but that seems to be the area that because that's where he would see her, anyways.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, do we go now?
Probably tomorrow. There's some spells I'd like to put up before I go wandering into entanglements with an unknown entity.
See, this is you're definitely the brains of the operation. Cool. And so we will leave you guys to do that, especially probably overnight in your domain. So we jump back to Songbird. Is there anything you were planning to do tonight?
Was this like immediately like this day that we're setting up? Was it skipped ahead at all, or
What do you
pretty
mean?
much right on the heels of a previous episode?
Oh, I mean, your call.
Okay. Like a couple days, because then I could have scoured and can convert some of my pool into tasks.
Okay. Cool. And I imagine you possibly rope Songbird, Atratus into making the Siderite iron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
like
for
she's-
that, they gave it to him and then said it needs to be done tomorrow. Yeah. Are we going to say that we had a few days in between there?
Oh yeah, because same thing with him scouring to gather some stuff up. Yeah. Yeah, I don't imagine this is happening literally the day after the hunter meeting. And some of that is probably bad ST brain and going, yeah, actually that meetup was probably right after the hunter meeting and then probably had a week to get stuff together. And that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
because before I was like, because I
Let's say
can't make that for
because it
you.
literally can't happen in one day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true, because you need 30 passes.
You need
Yep.
matter 4.
Right. Right, that thing. So, yeah, okay. So in that case, minor retcon, you guys get, Songbird gets together some tasks, specifically between the Hallow and then his own scouring. Atratus helps with the Siderite nail. And that also gives more time for Forge Masters to show up in town. Cool.
You gonna tell me what it's for? Are you just gonna bring my nail and say, "Do this"?
I need this for my initiation.
Okay.
I imagine you say that like a Boy Scout, like kind of like bouncing and like, I need this. Yep.
Gonna go get my tender toe.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it, but I was told to expect fire and anvils. So,
Okay.
Yep.
magic, soul crafting. I have a feeling I'm going to be the sort of subject of that.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, well, do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck.
Who even knows what your initiation will be for your
Yeah, I have no idea. So
Atlantean soulstone?
We need you to collect this particular flower that hasn't ever existed.
Rip.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So in that case, we pick up a few days later at said abandoned, kind of old factory. There's some, signs that say "keep out," "condemned." Some chains that are looped through, like door handles and stuff like that have clearly been like, oh, the chains are still there. The locks have been removed. And so you can just, it's there to keep it an appearance of being locked up. Yeah, there's various cars. Well, actually, no, probably most people walked because let's not park a bunch of cars at an abandoned location. And there is Colossus, who you've seen before. There are a number of other they all, in one way or another, definitely look like smiths, just from sheer physical size. The vast majority of them are male. There's like one or two women who actually look very similar to Valkyrie, or actually Songbird's self in her more female model. They are all there in like denim or other like heavy duty work clothes, vests, and curiously, everybody is wearing an eye patch. It is not a like like piratey thing. It's like a heavy duty like leather. Some of them are large enough to cover like a whole like side of their forehead and stuff like that. It definitely has, especially with the aprons and like the tools that they're carrying and stuff like that. It has a feel of a uniform, not uniform. The aprons don't all match, the tools don't all match, but everybody is wearing them.
The style.
Yeah. And they're kind of gathered around talking kind of quietly. It has that that sense of like ceremony and formality. And when you show up, Colossus looks over and says, "Oh, all right. The actually man or woman of the hour."
Man.
Okay. The man of the hour and kind of motions. Songbird. These are the local Forge Masters. Overall, there's about 20 folks. And some of them definitely like seem to be paired off. Like you can see like just looking like, okay, that's a master and apprentice. That's a master and probably two apprentices. And then as you are motioned over, Colossus motions to a Hispanic gentleman that he's standing with, who's probably pushing 70, 80. And Colossus, sorry, lost my notes. Nobody panic. I totally just
you can't stop me.
Yep. Right. So this is Reese Willis. Oh crap! Actually, he probably wouldn't even use that name. I didn't think of.
It's a weird fucking shadow name.
Yeah, it's a really weird shadow name, man. I actually didn't even think of a.
You didn't give him a shadow name.
I didn't give him a shadow name. Guys, don't DM prep while sick. You will do really dumb things.
It's the opposite way to make a mage.
That is the backwards way to make a mage. Actually, because it's kind of badass and I kind of like it. This is Thorin. Yep. And he is my master. To be blunt, he is the reason that I was actually willing to take you on as an apprentice. Like you, he is an Obrimos. And much fun as it was for him to teach on Moros, I thought it was appropriate for me to teach an Obrimos. And Thorin kind of reaches his hand
cyclical and
kind of argumentative. Go ahead. What?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that it was cyclical and a good pattern, and that we Obrimos would appreciate that.
That's very true. And Thorin, shakes your hand and says, "I understand this is a little bit unusual, but Colossus tells us all that it's appropriate considering the circumstances. I'll quiz you about that later, but for now, we are here for action and not talk."
Hell yeah, my dude.
Good. Claps you on the shoulder and says, "You'll stand here with me." Colossus is, he's a bit, this is his first time, so we're going to go easy on him.
I'll be gentle.
Right. I don't know that he will. Colossus kind of like gives a bit of a like eye roll, like, "Yeah, thanks, Dad," kind of thing, and says, "If everybody, since we're all here, if everybody will follow me." and you guys move from what is like the kind of like open factory floor kind of thing to a room with much more like equipment and stuff like that, or at least where there used to be more equipment. Now there is this large furnace made of like stone and block and stuff like that. And you see some more stones and stuff like that set around like as excess supply or something like that. And let me pull up the book so I make sure I read this correctly. Yeah, stone and clay.
Shit's so dope.
And yes, folks, this is the most metal legacy. I can't even say it, man. It's the most metal legacy in the book. And
We should has the picture in Discord.
oh yeah, the picture will definitely be in Discord. And Colossus goes to a little cooler and pulls it open and pulls out a blood donor bag and says, way better than the way you did it, Thorin. And walks over and cuts this bag open and pours it into a large cup, and like a large cup, chalice kind of looking thing, sets it into the forge and in the furnace, and in and amongst a bunch of different kind of bits of detritus and odd shapes, crystals and rocks and all sorts of other things, and says, yes, Tass, and motions you take some that you had added and puts that in there.
I channeled it into some spare rebar that I had in the workshop.
Brilliant.
Like in a circle.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so he's like, that's perfect. Sets that down. All right. Hop in.
Sorry, what?
Yep. Yep. And like there's a soft chuckle throughout like all the forge masters where they all go, yep.
That explains why it's so big, huh?
That's why it's so big. And the nail, when we start, that's going in your wrist.
Cool.
Yep. So he gives you a moment, and
Songbird just like whips his fucking clothes off.
Okay, cool.
That works too.
I mean,
let's go.
Most just let them burn off, but hey,
give me the nail.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, he kind of gives you a hand inside and goes, all right. If you scream, it's cool because we've all been there. This shouldn't. Well, no, this won't kill you. It's just going to suck.
All right.
Okay. In case anything goes wrong, any last words?
Nope.
Pats you on the shoulder and begins to cast a combined spell of Celestial Fire, which you're like, I totally recognize that spell. I use that all the time. Combined with Channel Mana, which, yeah, the two of those together seem really disparate and weird, but effectively begins to pour his own mana into the furnace, fire into the furnace, melting the task, burning his blood, boiling it, mixing, and he was not kidding. You know, Celestial Fire does lethal damage by default. This
is an ouchies.
Yeah, it is. To quote the book, it is modulated to cause pain, but not serious damage. And
exciting.
I'm gonna put this on you because I almost said something. I was like, well, let's have some player agency here. Are you holding back, or are you just like, no, this is cool, I'm just gonna scream and just let it all out? Or are you gonna try and be like, no, I'm gonna I'm trying to think how Songbird, because I could see him leaning either way.
Yeah, I could too, but I think he tries to hold off for a while.
Resolve plus composure, please.
Yeah.
Yes, as is mentioned in chat, if you have any heavy metal music to start playing now would be an appropriate time. Yeah. So with
I think he tries to hold off, and then as he's starting to lose it and really give in to some of the pain, he has kind of a thought that it's almost like birthing pains. Bringing forth a new life, sort of.
Yeah.
And kind of leans into that to sort of help modulate it and stuff.
Gotcha. So yeah, he burns you and mana. And,
right.
You can feel it, raw mana seeping into you, and the part of the channel mana part feels, and you're like, well, no, I'm tapped on mana, thanks, but it has to go somewhere, kind of thing. And you feel it kind of infusing you, burning, collecting, and the process does not take long because it's magical fire, and we go from 0 degrees to bajillion degrees instantly. For Songbird, I'm sure it feels like a fucking eternity.
Time. Yeah.
And the flames just are built and built and built, and then they seem to reach a plateau where you just live in this kind of, this is super uncomfortable, please stop.
Right.
And then suddenly the furnace surrounding you, stabbing yourself with the siderite iron.
This left, right?
The first one? I think it's one, and then later the other. So yeah.
So you stab it in, pull it out, then stab the other.
No.
No, you stab this
together.
One this time.
Nope, this time he's doing this wrist. Later he will do the other wrist. Yeah. This isn't a one-time thing, folks.
Nope.
I actually have to figure out 2 more initiations, because the book only goes for 3 initiations, and they technically do this
there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so you stab and hold on,
drip
as
the blood into the cup.
Right. And then there's this long moment of the spike, the nail in your wrist, the dripping blood, the fire, and then all of a sudden the forge, the furnace itself, starts to get pulled and smashed apart. You can finally actually see the surrounding area through blinking through tears. Your body is basically just glowing in this kind of white gold heat and mana. And in amongst all that blur and stuff like that, you can see Colossus standing there, with the apron, the eye patch, and he has at first it looks like that hammer that he showed you a long time ago, that his his masterwork kind of thing that he kept hidden, but no, it just glows. It has this ephemeral what was the term they used? Phantasmal hammer of mana. Just absolutely enormous, and just it smashes down into your chest. Smash, and then his other hand comes up and shoves you, kind of stumbling, to this enormous trough of water. And let's be honest, there's no grace or anything like this. It's stumble, splash. And you're given a minute in the water, as the mana that was just overwhelming, the heat just starts to dissipate. The nail that was in your wrist is gone. It's not mentioned in the book. I like to think that there is a mark, because that's badass. And then when you get up, when you come to, you can see everybody else is kind of standing around watching to make sure you're okay. Colossus is over here, with his actual hammer, not the one of mana, and is going to town on the furnace, smashing it brick by brick, turning bricks, into piles, and then once he feels satisfied that it is all smashed apart, you watch as he casts a spell, and watch as all the stuff is just turned to gas and vapor and blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back to you where you're probably at this point managing to sit up.
It's like chilling in the trough though.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Reaches down, pulls you out, and says, welcome.
That was something, huh?
Yup. And most of us here have done it 2 or 3 times.
Oh boy, there's more.
There's more. But don't worry, we'll get there when you're ready. This is the big one. This is the one where everybody comes. The others will be probably just you and me. But welcome. And with
thanks
that,
for coming, y'all.
yeah. And with that, we have our first person with a legacy. Songbird is now initiated in the Forge Masters.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Which gives you matter as a ruling arcana.
Hell yeah.
So that helps. And then your first attainment is cute, but
It's fine.
I'm trying to remember. Excuse me.
Second one's real good.
Yeah, second one's really good. Some of the later ones. I'm trying to find it. If you haven't had it up so you can read it, that'd be great.
I can pull it up.
I control F.
It's like a fancy discern composition, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your first one?
Yep. There we are. Yeah, because you have all your basic stuff plus the matter. Basically, you have supernal vision, which lets you ask questions about enhanced.
Yeah. So the first one is as an instant action, the Forge Master can ask a number of questions about a visible, enhanced item, imbued item, or artifact equal to its dots in prime. These questions must be related to its nature as a magical item and can extend to the capacity of the mage who crafted it if one did. If the subject is not such an item, the Forge Master is aware of that fact.
Right.
And then the optional is the matter part, which is discern composition, right, if you're touching something.
Yep. And all of which are just an instant action. There's no die roll. It's just I do it.
Just do it.
Yep. Which is super, super cool. And it's a big upgrade from the stuff that 1E did, because 1E was like, roll this huge dice pool and how many successes you get determine stuff. But this gives you just actions and it just happens, which is super cool. That is called the evaluation. So yeah, with that, and as Colossus kind of pulls you out, and somebody brings you brings you your clothes, and says, "Okay, well, with that all done, we are going to act like smiths of old and go get something to drink." Yeah,
very good.
And as people kind of make their way out, the eye patches come off. The aprons come off, and they, wander in this herd of smiths to various vehicles and stuff like that. And some of them split off, but Thorin and Colossus obviously stick with you, as well as a few others, and head into town to get drinks or some such.
You can ask for the eye patch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. And they grin and they're like, yeah, it's kind of old school. You're smithing, sparks, bits of metal flying through the air, and heaven forbid something happens and it gets in your eye. Well, at least your other eye is covered.
Huh.
Yeah.
That only works once though, huh?
Just the once, yeah. After that, then you go on to be a tutor, master, apprentice, yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I thought it was something you guys were doing for me, a little Odin sort of thing,
No, though it's not quite irony, but yeah, the coincidence was rather ironic. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yep. I know that is actually right out of the book.
I missed that part.
Yeah, actually,
I thought that was something you did. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, part of their description. When I was reading over this the other night, I was like, oh, and yeah, I picked up the Odin part. I was like, oh, that'll actually be kind of cool. Yeah.
Someone was asking if we're using the homebrew, or is this in the book? Or are we using the
Oh, this is there's a gentleman.
The conversions.
Yeah, there's a gentleman
My
person,
legacy friend.
a legacy friend who converted stuff. Who his name will not be read aloud, which is really unfortunate. Man,
4chan.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, 4chan. But yes, there is a homebrew conversion of a lot of the legacies into 2E that has been updated, and so we're using that for now. That's the only one I've actually really read over. And obviously I made the Ibn Phoenix, so I don't know how balanced and nice the rest are. This one I'm pretty okay with, so I'm not making any changes to it. But yeah. No, I had not translated this one to 1E, but I actually, or from 1E, but I might actually be making one from 1E to 2E. So that's a thing that might be happening. Anyways, yeah. So that is where we not leave off, but we kind of scene transition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you and Colossus and Thorin had things you need to discuss or talk about or anything like that. But yeah, that is kind of where we leave off initially. Like I said, if there's something else, we can hit that.
Yeah, I think just a general conversation of like what I can be expected to be asked of and stuff like that.
No, at this point, Colossus says there is no there's no grand organization. You are now a proper apprentice. When we initiate you further, you'll become a journeyman and such. But yeah, your responsibilities are only to me as I see fit. And since we are both Arrow, that also prevents a lot of push and pull from multiple sources. Generally speaking, you and I are going to be on the same page of concilium matters. Right. But I have no particular expectation of you beyond what Red has already set forth. You are you are a good worker for me and Pip, and that's for now. That's all we ask of. If something else comes up, especially as things happen in the concilium, you may have to step up. And you are a banner warden, so even beyond that, your cabal comes first, unless something terrible happens. Where we need all boots on the ground kind of thing.
Right.
But if that happens, I hope your cabal understands that all boots are needed on the ground and they better get their ass in gear.
Right.
Otherwise, Thorin actually kind of chats with you, especially Obrimos to Obrimos, trying to understand, hey, what are you studying? What are you looking into? What are your obsessions? I'm sure all three of you have a grand old time talking about, I want to forge something bad fucking ass. And yeah, if there's any specific conversation points, do let me know.
No, not really.
Okay. Cool. So in that case, yeah, we jump over to Atratus and Gabe. I imagine it is late afternoon, possibly evening, when you go ghost hunting.
Yeah. Before we go, I queued up Ghost Shield with extended scale and bonus duration.
Okay.
Like beyond just the first up, because I wanted it to last for like a whole day.
Okay.
So that'll cover me and Gabe both, yeah?
I just realized I didn't actually have the actual mage book open. I had the old legacy book. Ghost Shield.
And I took the bonus. Yeah, my reaches were for. Well, it's in my domain, so it doesn't super matter. But
Right.
Scale, duration, another -2 for duration, and 1 for the bonus, which protects me from physical attacks. So,
Cool.
11. Oh my god. 11 dice, 1 success.
11 dice with 8 again, 1 success.
One
But hey,
success.
Damn it.
That's all you need.
Songbird
Greg was
rolls.
supposed to
Songbird
leave
dice.
some rolls for us, not take them with him.
Yep. All right. Cool. Now, just to remind you, because you have the ability to combine spells, is there anything else you want to tap on top of that?
I was looking through. I could have sworn I had something that let like my physical things interact with things in Twilight, but I can't find it.
I know that is definitely
That's the thing I can do, yeah? But I can't find it.
I know it's something that Prime can do.
Mhm.
Yes, Touch of the Grave.
That lets me pull things from
pull
Twilight.
things from. Yep.
I was trying to make like, I don't know, something like my gun touch ghosts in case it goes bad and I need to defend myself.
Right. Shadow sculpting, Speak of the Dead. That might be something that we get a little creative thaumaturgy on.
Sounds like a death 3 to me.
That
Yeah,
is
because
kind of
that's what I was looking at. That's where I thought it was, but
I mean, it's essentially a localized version of Ghost Gate, right?
Sort of. Oh, actually,
Is one way you could like rule it.
Is it matter that does it?
I was looking at Matter too, and I can't find it there either.
Gotcha. Dang. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can make a million things out of Twilight and Shadows, but
Right. But no, I definitely agree. This is definitely something where you are effectively weaving the item. Matter 4. That Matter 4 is Ghost Wall, where it makes something, physical and stuff like that. That said, it requires you to add Death 3 to make the thing being shifted into Twilight, which just makes me feel better about saying, yeah, you can definitely do that with perfecting. Death 3.
okay. So I've never done a made up spell.
Okay,
How does this work?
Because it's the same as any other spell. You determine what practice it is. So in this case, we're saying it's probably weaving or perfecting. So it's a 3-dot spell. So it's like you're casting any other 3-dot spell.
Okay.
In this particular case, it's definitely a duration spell because, when you think of a more powerful version, does it do... Well, it interacts with ghosts.
Mhm.
What's more powerful? More interaction with ghosts, or it interacts with ghosts longer? It's a duration spell. And that's it.
So just 1 reach for advanced duration, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That seems appropriate.
We can go.
I mean, you could have weaved it into
Right, and that's I was
same
going to say,
spell.
don't even stress about even rolling it.
Okay.
Because you can do a combined spell, and you're basically saying this spell, smash. Technically, we would subtract -2 because you're using 2, but I'm not going to worry about it.
I mean, if we take off 2, that's just 2
They
losses.
came on dice number 3.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if we
Yeah.
drop the 4 and the 1, but like I said, I'm not going to stress about it.
Okay.
All right.
So
Let's not start that again. We'll be here all night nerding. Yes, that's very true. So yes, which I definitely appreciate. Atratus basically sitting down in her domain, casting and like prepping and like the metaphorical suiting up in the Ghostbusters jumper, like all right, and then heading out. And Gabe is like, well, if you're with me, I don't have to stress about too much right now, though I should pull up his character sheet. Where did you go, Gabe? I didn't make a Gabe character sheet because he's on Conquer.
all of my spell controls because I've got one. Or wait, no, those 2 count as 1, right?
Correct, because it is a
Okay.
combined spell.
So I can cast
what
one
other
more
spells-
without having to reach.
What other spell do you have going?
I have Hidden Horde for the...
Oh, yes. Yes. That's a kind of important one.
Yeah, that one's just kind of always there.
Yep. Cool. All right. So there's Gabe's stats. Yay. Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys, head out once the sun sets because that's an appropriate time to go ghost hunting. And it, is mostly kind of walking the streets. And you kind of feel Gabe kind of, getting close and kind of moving away. You have the peripheral mage sight to tell you that ghosts are nearby. And at this point, I kind of like the expectation that you can tell when it's Gabe because it's,
yeah, we've established that, like, I'm used to how he feels because he's always there.
Right. I don't think you'd be able to do that with any other ghost except for the one that's, your brother. And my face looks weird. Sorry. Yeah, he's kind of moving about close to you. And then as you're just kind of walking the streets, all of a sudden there's little scribble on, window nearby says, she's here.
Okay, cool. I'm going to turn on my active mage sight and look around.
Yeah. And
I'm just going to spend the mana to keep that for a while.
Okay. Willpower. Yeah. Mana for Arcana, willpower for duration. I'm starting on episode 60, whatever, starting to actually remember that. Cool. So yes. Whoop, comes the glasses, so to speak, and you can see Gabe standing next to you and kind of pointing over towards across the street, effectively. There is a woman who people are walking right through. Occasionally, some of them do that, like, chill just ran down their spine. The woman, like Gabe said, she seems lucid. She seems fine. At this distance, you could easily mistake her for somebody else, except for the fact that you have mage sight on it. It's like, oh yeah, she's dead. She's a ghost. However, that appears liminal, glowy stuff, force ghost kind of thing. I don't know. And she is basically like looking at people's faces as they walk by, and like is looking into these windows. It's like a large kind of high fashion clothing store, and the woman, the ghost, is like looking in, kind of like almost like she's waiting for somebody like to arrive at the store. But at this like initial glance from way back here, with Gabe pointing out, it's about all you get.
Okay. I need to cast Speak of the Dead to talk to her. But let's see. I'm gonna actually cast that because I need to do it. Can't use high speed because I'm out on the street. I need to do it subtly. I'll just say 3. Is it a duration spell?
I sure think so. Oh, why am I back in matter? Death.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can use my shadow name for 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a 100% correct use of the Atratus Ghost Whisperer shadow name.
Yeah. All right. So Dice pool is going to be
11, no, 12. Math
12.
failed.
7 plus 5. 2 successes.
2 successes.
God, I'm so bad today.
It's
But it
okay. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you feel that settle over and reach that limit of your spell control.
Yeah, and I'm going to cross the street towards her.
Okay. Getting closer, you can see she looks to be a young adult, 21, 22. Her clothes are like maybe a year or two out of fashion, but she is dressed pretty impeccably. Very, very well put together. You could easily see her being, kind of high pressure sales kind of thing, really good, elegant business suit. Business suit, whatever. And she doesn't even notice you. She does the same thing everybody else has, where she kind of looks into your face, and then kind of moves on.
I'm not the person she's looking for.
Right. Looks at Gabe, doesn't even pause. The one thing I will mention, especially as you're getting closer, she is looking for women faces. Guys, she just kind of blows right past.
Okay. I'm going to pull out my phone so it doesn't look like I'm just talking to no one.
Damn it! I was so ready to catch you on that. Okay.
Yeah. And just walk up beside her and be like, are you looking for someone?
It legitimately takes... Actually, no. I was going to say it takes her a second, but I think your voice cuts through into Twilight like crystal clear because it's Speak with the Dead. And she kind of turns and goes, "Oh, you talking to me?"
Yeah. Can I help you?
I'm not sure. What are you? And she reaches over and touches your arm. Yeah, which she finds solid, I think, because of the ghost shield.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then looks at Gabe, who's very very clearly a ghost, not a ghost.
I'm someone who can help you.
Okay. I'm looking for my wife.
Do you know? Is she supposed to meet you here?
This is her favorite shop. My phone doesn't work. Nobody else is talking to me. So I'm waiting.
Okay. What's her name? I could help you find her.
Olivia.
Okay. Last name?
Oh, Olivia Reed.
Okay. I'll write that down in my phone.
Okay. Yeah, she extends her hand out. I'm Catherine Reed.
Hi. Do you have a phone number I can reach her at?
No, this is so embarrassing. My phone is dead. That's where I keep her number. I never actually dial her number. Who does that these days?
Okay. I'm assuming from this, she doesn't know she's dead.
You could probably get that.
So I'm going to not break that to her.
Okay.
Right yet.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll step aside, out of the flow of traffic and start looking up on my phone Olivia Reed.
Okay.
See if I can find any sort of records.
Actually, yeah. Let's do a proper roll. So we roll more than a couple things today.
Yeah. It'll be computers, right?
Because you're not hacking a computer. This is just going to be a straight up just investigation. You're searching for stuff. You can do wits or intelligence. Either one kind of works.
Investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they're the same. 2 successes.
Sweet, on 5 dice. So yeah, it takes you 20 minutes, especially you look up Olivia Reed and then plus Catherine Reed, and you find an obituary. They're very, very straightforward, and it's from 3-4 months ago, and it's actually probably let's say 6 months ago, and it's kind of tragic. Newlyweds, very, very happy, terrific pictures, and alongside tragedy strikes, newlyweds, car accident, blah blah blah, survived by their parents and grandparents, funeral at this time, etc., etc. So yeah, based on this, Catherine and Olivia are both deceased.
Okay. Obituaries don't usually list where they're buried.
No, because at most you've got the
where the funeral will be. Yeah. I'm also curious about her seeming lack of an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
That she can just sort of wander freely around the area.
Yeah.
I have a spell that lets me see that, right? Speak with the dead lets me sense anchors in the area.
Correct.
So I can concentrate on a ghost, determine its rank, if it has an anchor, and how many anchors it has. So I'm going to do that.
Oh, man, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do with Speak with the Dead that we've never bothered to do. Okay. So you can sense anchors, concentrate on a single ghost within, and determine their rank, if it has an anchor, and how many anchors it has. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you concentrate on her, and she is rank 2. Mm-hmm. And she appears to have... two anchors. How many? But yeah, it does not tell you what ones that you do have. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the reach, I can see if any of the anchors are temporary or permanent.
Mm-hmm.
But are there any that I can sense in the area?
No, the only ghostly anchor that you sense is your necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's without an anchor.
Yeah, she's wandering
without
away
a local
from it.
Anchor. Mm-hmm.
Thinking her parents. Because it would need, if she's wandering this far away from her things this regularly, she's got someone
thinking about it a lot.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
We know her wife's dead, so.
Mm-hmm. I'm watching Chris's head shake, and I'm just like, wonder what Chris is thinking.
Okay. I am going to turn to her and say, I think I have an idea of where I might find her. It might take me a bit to actually figure it out. If I could meet you here again tomorrow.
And you can see her like kind of concentrating and like trying to think, and she's like, I don't have any other.
Her concept
plans.
Of time is.
Oh yeah. She's like, I literally have nothing else to do except for sitting and waiting. Yeah, she's like, yeah, no, I'll be here waiting for her. Do you know Olivia?
I think I might know where to find her.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll bring her here tomorrow, or I mean, I can come with you.
We'll see what I find.
Okay.
Determine if I bring her here or you come with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then yeah, that's fine. We'll meet here tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much. What was your name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa. Okay. Thank you. And and immediately, like, there's a minute where she's engaging in conversation with you, and her eyes kind of glaze over a little bit, and all of a sudden she's just looking at people again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to look up her parents or in the obituary.
Okay, sure. I imagine there's, like URLs for, her funeral funds. There's probably a GoFundMe and unexpected, deaths and things like that. You find them on Facebook pretty easily.
Do they have very public profiles?
Yep.
Are they posting a lot about?
I'm posting about.
Oh, about her.
It's not too frequent. But yeah, there's a lot of. It looks like her folks have gone into super support of what stuff she and Olivia were into. It's like, hey, they've passed away, and so we're gonna do a bunch of this stuff in their honor. Based on like your cursory glance, you're just looking on your on phone on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they retired fairly wealthy and kind of early, and now they're doing a bunch of stuff about like they're involved in everything from reducing car deaths to supporting a bunch of different charitable organizations. As a lesbian pair, there's a bunch of stuff that they're doing for LGBTQ stuff. And then every like month or so, there's another post of like, here's this other thing we never even knew about our kid. It's a lot of stuff of like her parents trying to discover like their daughter post-mortem. And so that whole like, oh yeah, they're thinking about her a fucking ton.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a car. I guess I'll I want to find the graves.
My mind went to Mr. Graves, and I'm going, whoa. Okay. Trying to find like where she is interred.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I assume they were buried together.
Yes, actually. Let's just do another investigation roll.
2 successes again.
Another 2 successes. It doesn't take you too long between, especially hanging out with the Phantasm Society. All the best sites for this kind of shit.
To look up cemeteries.
Right. And notably, they are not buried, but they were both cremated, and their ashes interred in mausoleum in like Brooklyn or something like that.
Okay. I want to go there.
Cool. Hop an Uber, I guess. Yep.
So expensive.
Yes.
You can take the train.
I'm going to take the train.
Okay. But yeah, you make your way out there, and because I can feel my throat going, I think we're probably going to pause there. So I can take a break and get some more. Oh God. More tea. God bless Gengar mug.
It's so cute.
It's so the greatest. So we will pause there as Atratus digs into her ghost hunting investigation. Takes the train, as Perry says in chat. So thank you guys for joining us as for a very chill, very low key. I'm very curious to find out what my voice sounds like.
Low key Occultists Anonymous to study and or vibe with.
Yes. So we will be back on Twitch in, I believe my tea steeps in about 5 minutes. And then YouTube folks, we will see you on the next episode, where we will continue our ghost hunting and figure out what Songbird is up to. Of course, you can come join us in the chat and give us episode ideas. That's on Discord. That's yeetinto.space. And if you want to support us monetarily as our patrons that we mentioned earlier, that is staylucky.club. Until then, folks, we'll see you. Oh, and
stay lucky.
Stay